We're gonna do an all signs. Damn, I've got my heater on. So, what's the title? I forgot. Your first incarnation. So this is the first time I'm doing this title. I thought it'd be interesting to see your first life, not your previous life, your first life. We're gonna stick to Earth, you know, like if you've been living on different planets. We're not gonna do that one. We're gonna do your lives on Earth or on an Earth, okay, because there are many Earths out there. So we're gonna do, let's simplify it. Let's just say your first incarnation on an Earth, not another planet. We're not gonna do aliens. All right, so let's see. You know, I was thinking, should I do an all signs at this time? I'm kind of tired and I'm on my period. But you know, I miss doing an all signs. Like, I want to do it. We're just going to do it, but it's not going to be for long, okay? Oh my God, Rita! I haven't seen you in ages. I hope you're well. How are you? Tell me. Hope everything is well with you. I haven't seen you in a while. So, what was I going to say? Check your sun, moon, rising. Also, the order is the same. Ether, fire, earth, air, water. Don't ask me to do signs in different order. It's the same order every time, okay? Doing okay? That doesn't sound good. Just okay? Just me. Glad to see ya. Ali, what's up? Alright, let's start before I get too tired. Let's see. Three to eight, Ophiuchus. Where's my deck? Ophiuchus. Let's see your first incarnation. Let's see your first incarnation. What the fuck were you? Who were you? Let's show. Honestly, I feel like I'm doing this title for myself because I'm interested in those topics. Hopefully it piques your interest as well. Let's see. Ophiuchus, first incarnation on Earth. Or on an Earth. Ciao, man. No? You don't want to talk about that? Well, too bad. We've already committed to the title. Bitch, you're showing up as the emperor. I mean, you could have been a literal emperor. Okay. Na. Look, the emperor and the empress. Let's just say you were royalty. Let's just say you were in charge. And let's just say it was a good life. Damn. Okay. Wow, Justice. Bitch, you were like you are the person that was beheading people. You were someone that was so in charge that you will give people death sentences and no one will fucking question you. This is giving me like king or emperor, conqueror. It's giving that vibe, especially with the emperor here and the empress. I feel like you were someone that you got your way. Whatever you wanted, you got. It's like, even if it's something that wasn't available, you will find a person that will bring you the thing that you want. So I feel like you were someone that that told people what to do, when to do them, and how to do them. And if something seemed impossible for you, you will find a way to make someone make it possible for you. So you will not be the one that makes it possible. You will ask people to do it, and they will make it possible for you. So let's just say you were in charge. I feel like I'm getting like I'm getting you weren't you were definitely abusing your power. I'm getting like you weren't like a fair and square type of leader. So you were a little bit corrupt, huh? And also, I'm getting that you were also a little bit of a hoe. So you fucked, so you fucked anybody you wanted, and you killed anybody you wanted. You were kind of like a dictator thing. So you were a dictator, you know? So what you say goes, even if it doesn't make sense. People will follow because they're scared of you. Or scared of losing their life. Okay. I was a nice emperor. Yeah, keep telling yourself that. It might help. So we finished ether. We're gonna do fire next. Do you guys like the title? Because I know it's a bit of an outlandish title. I know. Your first incarnation. You know, before I changed it to first incarnation, the title was the origins of your spirits, or the origin of your spirit. And I was thinking, no, the origin of spirit is source. So that makes no sense, the origin of your spirit, because that's source. I was thinking maybe that will confuse people because I wanted to see what type of spirit you were initiated as. But then I thought, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna do it as a first incarnation. Because I wanted to see what type of spirit you kind of materialized in. Do you know what I mean? Like what type of spirit you chose to be. But then I was like, maybe that will confuse people because the origin is basically source. So I had to change it to make it a bit more sensible. So first incarnation. Okay, thanks for the feedback. I'm glad you like. Me again. You're just getting into it. It's going to be a fun ride. It's going to be a fun ride. Sagittarius, let's see your first incarnation on an earth. On an earth. Okay? Let's see Sagittarius. First incarnation. You fucking weirdo. Sagittarius. Your first incarnation. Okay, what? Okay, I'll take the weirdo back, okay? Because it's not weird. You wanted to experience what it's like to struggle. You wanted to experience what it's like to suffer. You wanted to feel pain. Okay, I'm gonna give you the weirdo back, okay? I'm gonna say you're a fucking weirdo. Because your first incarnation was about feeling pain. I wonder what it feels like to feel pain. Put me in the worst scenario possible. Like, you know what I mean? It feels like you wanted to experience suffering, pain. I see that you struggled a lot. You went through a lot of survival. You could have been broke or homeless, or you were really suffering. Like your life couldn't get worse. And on top of that, you were in love with someone that you couldn't get. So you wanted to experience what pain felt like. And it actually makes sense, you know, because as a spirit, you don't know what pain is until you become a body. Because senses only are valid when it comes to a vessel. Pain, feelings, it's not really a thing when it's a spirit. So you wanted to experience pain. It's like, oh, this sounds like fun. Put me in the worst human experience possible. I want to feel it all. It even feels like it was some type of experiment, challenge. It's like, maybe you were like the first protocol. It's like, let me see if it's too much. Before we roll it out to other humans, let's see if it's bearable. I'll volunteer. You fucking weirdo. I love this because it seems like you wanted to experience the worst of the worst, so that you can see if it's bearable, if it's possible even. It's almost like you had nothing in comparison to it. This is why you wanted to experience the worst of the worst. And I would not be surprised if you were some type of sadist in this life. It's like you could be the type of person that would pick on fights or get in trouble on purpose just to feel that extra pain. Just to put yourself a little bit more deeply in situations that are painful. Okay then. Interesting. I find that very interesting in a weird way. Living the dream, Bella, huh? Maybe you didn't have enough. Maybe you're like, oh, put me back in again. I have a thing for pain. I mean, there are people that, you know, that are into pain, right? They love it. Pain is a great teacher, but there are people that are, you know, I can never forget that video when I was a teenager, a video of Satanists where they hook themselves up with hooks and they start hanging from the ceiling. I can never unsee that. Okay. Hey guys. Hey guys. I see some regulars here. Roger, you're becoming one. And Dragonfly. Jaden. Okay, let's see. Who's next? Leo. Leo, let's see your first incarnation on an earth. On an earth. Okay? Let's see. Oof, you were a ruthless queen. I know this is gender specific, but that's what I'm getting, okay? So I'm going with it. Ruthless! 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 You know, it's interesting because I'm getting that you are in history, which is very interesting, right? Like, I feel like you are in history books, or you are in, like, you have been mentioned. And there is something about your cruelty. You were into eccentric torturing methods. Like, you're known for it, or you... Like, I'm seeing like all sorts of you know those I don't know what age that is, copper looking mask, and they're like spikes inside, and you have to lock it in and you can't take it off. It's that vibe. What age is that? I don't know, you tell me. But it's, I don't know if it's like medieval times. It doesn't seem that far away as well. When I say not far away, I don't mean like it's ancient times. Okay, so you are like a ruthless queen that was into weird torturing methods, and you are in history books. Let's just say you were like a baddie, and not in a good way, you know, because people do say that a baddie is a good thing, but not in my opinion. You were very territorial. Like, if someone touched something that is yours, you will torture them. I feel like you were not even just. It's not like someone did something horrible, and then you torture them. It's like the dumbest shit, and you will torture them for it. Okay. There was something about you were cold. There was something about you not feeling empathy or compassion for others. Maybe you saw people as fucking bugs. You know, you didn't feel sorry for people. You didn't see them as humans, I feel. You saw them as things. Or peasants, right? So you don't even feel sorry. You didn't die feeling guilty. You know what I mean? You didn't have any guilt. Or if it kind of feels normal. Like, I feel like you thought it was normal, or you think it's normal. What you did, I don't think you died with any regret in your heart. It's like just another day. That's what we do here. That's what we do around here. I'm the queen. I'm known for this. It's almost like you're proud of it. Okay. Jen, hey, hey. Corrects, hey. Aries. Aries, let's see your first incarnation on an earth. Let's see. Let's see your first incarnation. I just heard, and she was a fairy. You are not human on Earth, So there are species on Earth, even as we speak today. We have other species besides humans on Earth. But your first incarnation was not human. I mean, since I heard she was a fairy, maybe you were a fucking fairy, who knows? But I feel like you weren't human. I was gonna say maybe a humanoid or a shapeshifter or an animal of some kind, like a hybrid. But you weren't human. You were not human. I mean, in my opinion, humans are hybrids. You know, humans are not really pure. So, okay. So interesting, Aries, because you not being a human was normal back then. So, could this be like during the ancient Egyptian era? You know, when you see that they have like bird heads and human bodies, something like that, right? I forget what it's called, but it feels like it was normal that you weren't human before. So you weren't like in the hiding. You weren't like isolated or in the wild. You were accepted. I don't know why I'm seeing an armor, silver armor. That's like, I'm seeing specifically the chest area. But it's almost like you were accepted for who you were, like a hybrid, that you're not human or half human. I feel like you were half animal or half beast. I don't know. But you weren't a human being, or you weren't human beings as we understand it today. You were definitely like different species. And you were accepted. You weren't like in the hiding. Like right now, we don't have like other species on Earth because they are in the hiding, or they are like staying out of sight, right? But not back then. It was normal. It was the norm that you walked around with as who you are. You know, I really like that armor thing is really insisting. I feel like you could have been like part of an army or part of leadership position, and you had like you were in the army or you were like a soldier. Okay. So interesting, right? I love this title. I feel like Aries, you were not, you had some type of powers, ability. You could have had the ability to read minds, or you could have had like psychic abilities. When I say psychic abilities, I don't mean the diluted ones that we have today. It's more like potent. It's more like, I was gonna say Sherlock Holmes, but not even that. Nothing, not like you were not even Like Sherlock Holmes is like the diluted version of psychic. Well, it's actually not psychic, based on how he sees things, but I see it as psychic abilities. Now, I feel like you had some powers. It was normal. It was normal. So this tells me that there could have been like others like you that had the same thing, and they walked among humans. They walked among humans. You lived in peace or in harmony together. There was no problem. But you were definitely above average when it comes to your human fellow neighbor. You know, people would not mess with you because they know that you have abilities that you can overpower them with. And it feels like either reading minds or hypnosis, or you could tell people what to do and they will do it. It's almost like putting someone in trance. Whew. Okay. That was a dragon. That'll be cool. Alright, so we finished fire. We're gonna do earth next. You okay? Sorry, I puffed on you. Whew. You've been sleeping all day, and now that I'm doing some work, you're like, I miss you, right? She hates hugs. It's like if I hug her, she's like, okay, fine, I'm done here. What do you mean, female only stuff? What are you talking about? I can't even open my eyes properly. What's wrong? I'm not even sleepy. Alright, let's see. Virgo. Let's see your first incarnation. Virgo. On an earth. On an earth. Let's see. First incarnation. You were very religious. Very friendly, like an old soul. Friendly. People trusted you. I feel like you were some type of counselor, advisor, whether spiritual or based on some type of religion. I don't know, I'm getting that, but you were into mixing potions and shit. So I don't know if you were also into medicine, or maybe you were like this, maybe you were like a grandma where people went to when they were sick. It's like, can you help my husband? Can you help my son? And you're like, come in, child, it's okay, have a seat. I'll come back with something that will make them feel good. Like, it's giving me that vibe. Hang on, there's cat hair everywhere now. It's giving me that vibe. But I feel like you were religious, you know. I don't know why I'm getting like you could have dealt with spirits based on religion. I'm not sure what religion though. It could be like an old religion, as if as in like paganism. I mean, it's still practiced, but it's dying out, or something else. It doesn't have to be like the religions we know today, like Christianity and Islam and whatever else. But it can be, I guess. It doesn't have to be from a far away time. But you were religious and into mixing potions. You're not giving me witchy vibe. I don't think you're someone that was doing spells. As far as like potions, I would say you were more of a herbalist rather than more on the scientific spectrum rather than a witch. You're not giving me witch vibes, okay? So let's just clarify that. But you knew what works and what doesn't. God spoke to you. Okay. Okay, so you've had a very personal relationship with God. Whoever God is for you. So maybe people saw you as someone that is like a prophet or a prophetess, I guess. Is that what you call a woman prophet? I don't know. But it feels like you had some type of knowledge that the average person wasn't aware of. And you helped people. You were advising people, counseling them. You were like a wise soul. You are coming across as like an old lady. I don't know. It could be like a metaphor for the energy here. But you could have been an old lady, literally, that knew too much and helped people with it. So I see, like, I'm not getting any weird vibes from this. Like, you were like a good person, Virgo. You were a good person. You helped people. I mean, maybe some people thought you were a bit crazy, but I see that there are a lot of people that believed in you and what you can do. I also want to say that your journey was a lonely journey, meaning that you didn't have anybody. Maybe you lived alone. Maybe you lived in the middle of nowhere. Because I'm getting that there could have been like distance, so meaning that people traveled to see you, or maybe you were that known, where people traveled from long distance places to see you specifically because you're known for your abilities, right? Okay. But I see you had a lonely, or it was like a solo lonely journey. It was like a lonely incarnation. You were on your lonesome. I don't think you were, I don't think you were unhappy, but that's what comes across as a lone journey, solo. The Blue Woman channel. I'll make sure that I don't channel to you. Or I'll make sure that I don't connect to you. How about that? Don't be so self-centered, okay? It's like, let me see if you can guess me. Shut up. Alright, let's do Taurus. Taurus, let's see, your first incarnation on an earth. Let's see, your first incarnation. Damn. The first thing I got is you died young. First thing I got, Taurus, is that you died young. Okay, fine. Apology accepted. You didn't have to super chat though. But I'll heart it. Alright, Taurus, let's see. So, you died young. It's almost like you barely lived. Like, I feel like you died in your teenage years or younger than that. And you died while traveling. It could have been an accident because this does not feel like you died because of a disease or something. So this is more like about your death rather than your life, because you barely lived one. I feel like you could have been like a troubled child. You could have, I don't know, like run away a few times. You got yourself in trouble. But I feel like you died while traveling, and I don't think you died alone. It's almost, I'm seeing someone dying in someone's arms. Like a child. Maybe it wasn't an accident after all, because I'm getting that there could be someone that have actually ended you. Damn, okay, alright. Like my palms are getting sweaty. I feel like it was a horrific death. You did not die. you did not die quickly. Maybe this incarnation actually traumatized you because there is more about your death rather than your life. Maybe in your life there wasn't much happening, but your death is the most prominent energy. It was the most traumatizing part. So energetically it has more, like your death, your first life death was the most important part of your life. You didn't even get to live. You didn't even get to see life, experience life. But you know, like I am getting that you were like a troubled child. Like you got yourself into trouble. You could have hung out, or you were in company of people that were older than you, that weren't even your relatives. So let's say you were 9 years old, 10 years old, but you hung out with people that were in their teenage years and older, and that got you in trouble. Okay, that's what I'm getting. This is more about your death rather than your life. Well said, Rita. I just blocked the troll. Well, I have nightmares. Nightmares about what? About past life? Capricorn. Capricorn, let's see your first incarnation on an earth. Let's see. Your first incarnation. And that was quick. Okay, you were a hottie and you broke a lot of hearts. Okay. That's like really straightforward. You had like an interesting position in this life, meaning that you were some type of leader, you had a good life. You were very attractive. And I want to say for your time, whatever that means, meaning you presented yourself well. People loved the way you look. You had like this, you are showing up here as the king, so I'm gonna like go with it. You could have been like a king, but you had feminine features. I feel like you were like a good representation of this card itself. You know, this card as a whole is giving me that vibe where you're like a man, but you had very feminine features. Women were all over you. Men were jealous of you. And I feel like you had this energy of not caring. It's like you did what you wanted. You did what you wanted anyway. And you weren't afraid to speak your mind. You weren't afraid to say no, and you know, whatever the consequence, you didn't give a fuck. I feel like you had some type of protection. When I say protection, I mean that you had support from people, or maybe you paid them to support you, who knows? Because you are showing up as the king. So you could have had a position where you were in charge, you were protected, you had your people, you know, you had like the people that supported you, people that were there for you. There are people that would defend you, meaning that you had close friendships or loyal people around you that would defend you. If someone was speaking badly about you behind your back, it will get reported back to you, and they will be like, what do you want us to do? You know what I mean? You've got that loyalty from the people around you. I'm getting like a siren energy, and I'm not sure, like, I don't think it's the literal sense of a siren. It's more like the closeness you provide to people that makes them loyal to you. In a way, it makes them want to serve you. You could have had people that did things for you for free. So even if you were someone that, you know, is generous or whatever, there could be people that want to serve you anyways. Like, you don't have to give me anything. I will do it for your sake anyway. Let me just say you were loved. And I feel like you were loved not just by a specific gender. I feel like you've had both, men and women. But you were loved also, meaning that you've had connections where there was no transaction. They would give you things, whether service, protection, whatever else, and you didn't have to pay them back or give them something in return. They were just happy to be there. Okay. We finished Earth, we're gonna do air next. For those that are getting in here just now, we're doing first life. We're doing first incarnation, not your past. The blues woman, it sounds like a premonition, sounds like a warning. Night, night. It's not a scratching board. Kelbe. All right, let's do air. Air. Aquarius. If you were dreaming that since you were a child, it could be a past life. It could be a past life. It could be recalling a past memory, past life memory. Here's the thing, your past lives, they're not always, flowers and rainbows and happy memories. You will remember the traumatic experiences. Like most of the time, when people remember past lives, what do they remember? The way they died. The first thing I remembered about my past lives is the way I died. And then everything else came back. Everything else started to come back. It's your death. Your death most of the time can be traumatic. Okay. So if you're recalling memories from past life and they are nightmarish, it's possibly a memory of how you got traumatized or how you died or how that memory is linked to your death. So don't go looking for your past life if you're not ready for the information that you will receive. All right, let me change the timing. Aquarius, let's see your first incarnation on an Earth. Showing up as the Empress. You know, we've had so many like Empress, Emperors, Kings and Queens readings. Interesting. You were born during a war, or you were born during a war that was ending. More specifically, it's not like a war that is beginning or in the middle of the war. It's more like the ending of a war, or it was about to end when you were born. So it's almost like you've had an easy life in comparison to a couple of years back. I do see that you came from a rich family. You came from a background where you were good. You weren't like poor or suffering or surviving. And I don't think it's you. I think it's your family. So you've had like a somewhat a normal, easy life, especially as a child. You know, like when you, I mean, I don't know if you know, but when you experience war, when you are born in war or something like that, it kind of, like everything else after the war, it becomes more laid back, peaceful. People love on each other because they have been struggling. So they bond. You know, when people go through situations that are shitty and it's over, they bond over that. So you've had a good upbringing, I want to say. I'm getting that you have siblings, and these siblings saw more than you did, and I feel like you struggled with your siblings more than anything else. So your life is normal, but maybe one of your siblings or couple of them, they gave you a hard time. And I feel like they were jealous because you had it easy. Or you had more attention, more love, more affection. And your siblings hated you for that because they didn't get that. Because they were like living through the war. So they were more living in fear. They didn't get attention. So they were jealous of you because of that. That's very specific. Yeah, I feel like you've had a very normal life. You came from a good background. You lived your life as someone that, you know, that isn't struggling. The only thing that I do see here is that you've had people, especially your siblings. I feel like you've had siblings and they gave you a tough time. Or people that are slightly older than you. They were still young, but older than you, that were jealous of you. Because you don't really know what it feels like to suffer. And they were jealous of that innocence. So they could have beaten you up, you know, put you in situations where they caused you pain. They were jealous of you. Okay. Good one, Stephen. Through my electronic rectangle. Sounds very whimsical. All right, let's see, Gemini. Let's see, what do we have for you? Let's see. Let's see your first incarnation. More specifically on an Earth, rather than any other planet. Let's see. You were a wild child. You were wildin'. You were like a rebellion. It's like if people told you go left, you would go right. And even though you know going right is going to cause you trouble, you did it anyway. It's like, how dare you tell me where to go? You created your own path. It's like you went against the grain. It's like, oh, you don't want me to go that way? I'm gonna go there specifically. I would not be surprised if you started your own cult, your own religion, because it feels like you've started a movement. It feels like you were like, yeah, but who says that we have to live this way? How about we do it this way instead? And people were against you. I feel like you were against the norm. You were against it. It's like, I'm not gonna live like that. And I feel like over time there were people that believed in you, followed you, or even after your death, followed you. Meaning that your legacy lived on. It's like your print stayed, you know what I mean? It feels you made a difference. It's almost like you brought critical thinking into the type of people that you were born around. So, for example, people would not question the way they were living their life. And you're like, yeah, but why? Why do we have to do this? How about we change it? You were a rebellion. You were a rebellion. I would not be surprised if you started like movements and you inspired people to be like you, the same as you. Because it's almost like you led with passion, you led with purpose. You were very passionate about not sticking to what you've been told, and creating that path and paving the way for others to follow you. I feel like you wanted to free yourself, but you actually affected other people, and you wanted, like, I feel like you affected people in a sense where they wanted the same as you. So I don't think you did it for others. I don't think you were like, ooh, I'm selfless. Let me sacrifice myself for the sake of the people. It was not like that. It was for your sake. So you did it for you. And people are like, ooh, so I guess if Gemini's gonna do it, I'm gonna do it too. And you were like, you can follow me. You know what I mean? It feels like you did it for yourself first. It's almost like you led by example. There could be things written about the things you did, meaning any rebellious movements, anything that could have been against the policies or the rules that you had during your life. And maybe there was something written about that in a book or two, or throughout history. Maybe something about you was written in history. I don't think you were famous, but I feel like you were famous for certain movements. So there's a mention of you somewhere. Okay. Alrighty. Why is the chat so quiet today? Is it because it's weekend? Everybody out? Alright, let's see, Libra. Let's see. Yeah, I've noticed, Rita, I think we don't have trolls today. Usually the trolls keep the chat rolling. That's what they're good for. Until I block them, obviously. Maybe the trolls are sleeping, or they are out drinking their life away. Hey, it's a win-win. Anyways, Libra, let's see. Your first incarnation on an earth. I mean, Libra, if anybody is gonna talk about love, it's you. Okay. Wow. Look at that. Look at that. It's almost like you were created to experience love. It's like, I wanna go on earth so that I experience what it's like to be loved and to love. That's what you did in your first life. It was all about love. you had your little family, you were like happy. Libra, if you are living your life right now and thinking, oh, I can't find love, maybe you used all the credit in your first life. Maybe you used up all the credit of happiness in your first life. Give me more, give me more, give me more. So now you could be living your life saying, where's that love of mine? You used it all up in your first life. You've had the best of the best. You've had the one. You've had a cute little family. You were happy. You were like living your best life. Living your best life. And I feel like you were, there wasn't really a worry or concern. I feel like you lived a long, happy life. You've experienced it. Maybe if you are finding yourself not experiencing that type of love, maybe because you already experienced it. You know, we forget sometimes because we come to life, we choose our path and you're like, ooh, that sounds interesting. I've never done that before. You know what I mean? Like, imagine yourself like this. Before you were born, you're thinking, do I want to do something over again? I mean, I've already experienced it. So I'm going to choose a new path. I'm going to choose something I didn't experience before. Do you know what I mean? Because I feel like your first life was full, complete, wholesome. You had it all. Like the whole thing, love, partnership, romance, family, longevity. You died of old age. I feel like you didn't die like in a horrific way. You died like a normal life, old age, not even disease. You lived a long, happy life. That was the most positive reading so far. I don't think we can get more positive than this. Long, happy, peaceful. You were surrounded by loved ones. Okay. Alrighty. So we finished air signs. We're going to do water next. For the ones that just are entering the live chat, we finished ether, fire, earth, air. We're going to do water next. Whew, I'm warm. Hang on, I need a breather. That would be my life. Don't jinx yourself. Don't say stuff like that, you guys. Be mindful of your words. Be mindful of your words. If you call yourself unlucky, if you say, oh, that's just my luck, you jinx yourself. You actually, you live it. So stop saying words like that. You can't get something like the opposite of what you speak into existence. You can't. So start speaking positively about yourself. Start speaking positively into your life, or speaking positive things into your life rather than saying you're unlucky. Just say maybe it's not the time. Everything that's meant for me will come my way. You know, change the narrative. Stop speaking shitty things into existence, because most of the time we do it to ourselves. We just have to be more mindful when we speak certain things in our life. If you're gonna If you're gonna speak negatively about your life, how do you expect your life to get better? It won't. Because the universe is like, oh, okay. Oh, that's what you want? Okay. I'm gonna give you more of that. Alrighty, let's do water. Pisces, let's see. Pisces, let's see your first incarnation on an earth. Wow. I mean, were you with a Libra by any chance in your first life? If you remember, that is. Wow, there was so much adventure. Your life was like a roller coaster, but in a good way. I feel like you've experienced like what life has to offer. You were in love, you lost a great love, but then you still continued and you found power. You know, I feel like you were someone that was creative, meaning that you did something that was creative, whether you were an artist, a musician. I feel like you used life as your muse. You used life as your creative source to create, which is so interesting, right? I feel like you had a great love, but then you lost it somehow, whether, you know, something happened or whatever. And you use that to change it into power. It's almost like you alchemized it into something that is powerful. In a way, you're showing up as a survivor. And I feel like you've experienced the good and the bad and the ugly, but you still came on top. You still survived. You still used it as fuel. You were like a warrior spirit. I don't think you were an actual warrior. You were the type of person that never gave up. And it doesn't matter what happens to you. In a way, I feel like you saw the benefit of the bad experiences and you use them as your muse. You know when, for example, musicians, they get their heart broken and they write a song and it will be a hit, or they will be famous for that song? It feels like that. It feels like even though you went through shitty situations, you somehow turned that into your benefit. I feel like you were popular, maybe as a musician or an artist, but there are people that knew you. I don't think they knew you because you were somebody to begin with. You built it. You built that reputation. You became known. You weren't born, like, you weren't born known. You know what I mean? Like, you weren't like born into a rich family, let's say. You weren't born popular. You worked towards that. So you did well. I feel like you've accomplished so many things in your first life. You've experienced so many things. You felt so many things. It was a full life. Like the good and the bad, everything. It's a good mix of both. But I feel like your spirit was strong. You were powerful. You were like an inspiration. You inspired people. I would not be surprised if your art or if your music, if your poems are still alive to this day. I would not be surprised. Because I feel like you had an impact. In one life, you had a big impact. Because you made the most of it. You made the most of it. You're also someone that is like a deep thinker. You felt things on a deep level and it helped you create beautiful things. Artistic things, creative things. You were that person. It's almost like you brought art on earth. You know what I mean? It's like, I saw that meme. It's like, what is earth? No, what is art? What? Oh yeah, earth without art is eh. You get it? You get it? If you take art out of the word earth, you're left with eh. You were like that. You brought life, colors, imagination, fantasy, love. Okay. I look like your art teacher. I mean, have you been failing classes too many times? That you're still going to school? That was a good reading for Pisces. I liked it. Hidden messages. I'll take over the world one day. Maybe we have already enough of these fools around. We already have enough of people wanting to take over the world. The world is for no one's taking. Okay? Okay? The only world that you should take over is the inner world. Because that is most of the time a mess. Master your fucking self. You don't need to master the world. Master yourself and everything else will fall into place. You don't need to take over shit. Take over yourself. We already have enough maniacs thinking that they own the world or that they should own the world. Be different. Scorpio. Scorpio, let's see. Your first incarnation. Let's see, your first incarnation on an earth. That was quick. Why am I shuffling backwards? Hang on. No, let me reshuffle because I was shuffling backwards. Scorpio, first incarnation on an earth. Okay. It's like it made me laugh because I heard pirate. We literally have like a pirate looking dude over here. And like I've never seen this card as a pirate. Even though it has the pirate vibe. So maybe you are a fucking pirate. Who knows? Because I do see that you've traveled a lot. And you weren't part of civilization. And there is a lot of coins, so maybe you were after some treasures. I don't know, it's quite funny. So maybe you were like Jack Sparrow or whatever his fucking name is. I feel like you had family, but they weren't blood. Again, it sounds like a fucking pirate. Right? Like maybe it's like a ship crew? I don't know. But I feel like you had a family that was not blood, meaning they weren't really relatives. It's almost like a made-up family. You relied on each other, you depended on each other. So you had a family, but it wasn't your blood. You spoke more with your sword than your tongue. So you spoke with your knife, baby. That's such a Scorpio thing to do, right? It's like, I have something to say to you. and it was with your sword. Cut you now, speak later. I feel like you were a bit aggressive. I feel like you were someone that was stuck in your ways, you know, my way or the highway type of person. Some people say you still like that. You still are like that, right? Like Scorpios are known to be stubborn. Maybe you're still stubborn. But it feels like you were someone that was stuck in your ways. If people had a problem with you, they would talk to your sword. It's like, do you want a match? Do you want me to cut ya? You weren't someone that was, you know, like a peace seeker. You weren't someone that was understanding. No, you spoke violently. Oh, you have a problem with me? Okay, so let's battle till death. And whoever survives, well, the other person won't be able to argue with. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like you were like an outlaw. I feel like you weren't part of society. Maybe you lived in a small village, or maybe you lived in the sea. Again, we go back to the pirate, because it's giving me that vibe. You weren't part of any laws, and if there were any laws, you broke them on purpose. It's like, you don't tell me what to do. It's my way or the highway. Oh, the highway is basically we having a face-off, if that's what you call it, right? You know, when people are like in disagreement and they challenge each other to a fight, maybe you were that type. It's like, oh, you have a problem with me? Okay, so let's fight till death. So, okay. It's so interesting. I'm still getting pirate vibes. Like this card right here, it's almost like reminding me of, you know, when pirates bury their treasure. And this is the Seven of Pentacles, which is literally pentacles in the earth. So I'm just gonna go with a fucking pirate. You are a fucking pirate. Even though it sounds ridiculous, but that's all I'm getting, so I'm gonna go with it. Maybe we're like fucking chasing coins and buried deep down. But you know, I do want to say, the people, your family, you know, the family that we talked about, which is not your blood, you were very loyal to them. Like, you would kill for them. You would die for them. You know, so you had a very tight circle of people that you would put yourself on the line for. So you weren't selfish. You were fucking crazy and aggressive, I must say, but you weren't selfish. Okay. Sounds like me. It does sound like a Scorpio, right? It does sound like a Scorpio type of person. Maybe you were a Scorpio in your first life as well. Alright, so we have the last sign for the ones that don't know what's happening. We've finished all the signs. You will see timestamps in the description box after the live stream. But we have the last sign to go, last but not least. Cancer. Let's see, Cancer, your first incarnation. Let's see. On an earth. Let's see your first incarnation on an earth. That's my tummy, never mind that. Okay. Now. Cancer, I see life was not kind to you. In your first life, it was not kind. And let me explain why I think so. Because you have someone here that you lived a very long, happy life with, but they were taken away by by a system or a government or someone that was in authority, and it was not fair. And they took that person from you and your life just started collapsing. So I feel like you lived a very good part of your life where you were happy, you were content. You lived with this person specifically. I feel like you've had a family with that person. You have like children with them. It's almost like they were unjustly or taken away from you, or there was some type of authority or government that took them away from you. And it's interesting, I grabbed my ring finger. So maybe you got like widowed. Because it feels like this person was taken away from you and they never returned. So they could have died, or I don't know. It feels like it's so weird. I'm still grabbing my... What is the right finger? Is that the marriage? Is that the marriage finger? Or is it the left? Keep bringing my ring finger though. It's so weird. So, okay. I feel like your first part of your life, let's say from, I'm gonna give you just like the way I see it, okay? So let's say from the beginning of your life, the moment you were born till your 30s, it's not even old age, but that was the first part that was good. And then after that, this person was taken from you and everything else started collapsing after that. So it's not just them being taken away from you. I feel like you kind of gave up on life because you didn't think it was fair. You didn't think you wanted to continue. So I feel like you stopped giving a fuck, basically, about everything else. Because the love of your life, the person that you thought that you will grow old with, was taken away from you. So it was like a tragic... the second part of your life was tragic. Was not fair. I do feel like you did your best for your children, your life in general, but on a deep level, you didn't want to continue living. I feel like the reason why you kept on living is for the sake of the people that depended on you, rather than you wanting to live. So it's almost like you gave up the will to live, but you lived anyway for the sake of the children, let's say, or the sake of the family. Maybe you didn't want to put them through more loss. But I feel like once that person was taken away from you, you lost yourself. So this is like a tragic, like a tragedy that just destroyed everything. Whew, damn. That was a heavy energy. And I feel like it's heavy, not because, like, for example, if someone died out of like, normal causes or disease or whatever, you can live with that. You'll mourn them, but you can live with that. But if someone was taken away from you and it was like injustice or unjust, and it's a bunch of random people taking your loved one and you couldn't do anything, yeah, that will destroy you. So I don't even fucking blame you for giving up. Like, I feel like you lost the will to live, but you did it anyway for the people that depended on you. Damn. But I guess, I mean, if you want to focus on the good part, your first half of your life was great. Your first half of your life was great. It was like beautiful. The second part, tragedy. Is it the widow finger? Wow, I did not know that. Really? Oh wow, I did not know that. I'm gonna Google it after this. I never knew that the widow finger had a finger. Damn. Told me my current hubby were together in past life, but I didn't before, should have. Wow. That's so interesting, right? Alright, you guys, I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you think about the title. For the ones that are watching replay, I guess. I appreciate you all. Rita, it was good seeing you. Stick around. I like seeing you. Alright, you guys. I'll see you guys later, okay?